You might remember the best rally car ever. This is the Rlaarlo XTS-F10, and it's an absolute peach. I love this car. Good news, there's a new one. This is the Subaru, and it's the Subaru because it ain't licensed. I'll start with that because it's the only thing really that I'm disappointed about with this car. Rlaarlo, pretty pleased with the cherry on top. Get licensing or make your own IP. Don't rip it off. That out of the way, I can't wait to show you what I think might just be my new favorite car. I'm very impressed with this Subaru. It's incredibly pretty. So you've got a pair of drivers in there, right? With a dashboard. Co-driver's got a map. But if you look in the back, there is a continuation of their harnesses. There you go. You see the harnesses going back? And that's just like the real thing. There's a roll cage in there as well. Functional roll cage. This thing is just stunning. The stickers, pretty and impressive though they are, do not quite match what's on the body. You cannot make this thing look quite like what it does on the box art, but you can do it. And I understand they've included now instructions on how to get these pretty stickers onto the body. Like every one of these pieces is separate and pre-cut. It's a plus for not having to cut the thing yourself, but you do need to still pull some of this stuff off, mainly the mirrors, to get a clean attachment. I've thought about this. I've applied actually a bunch of stickers because it had none on there when I got it, except for just speed, not these guys. And I've matched the livery as best as I could, but then I'm so enamored with this blue that I think I might even just leave it like this. This might just be not just one of the best handling little rally cars, but I suspect it's just going to be one of the best looking ones. And with or without those pretty yellow stickers, I'll tell you what, I really like it. Thoughtful, fun inclusions of extra stickers that do not go on the car, they're just for you. Lovely. I'm quite happy with the stickers included. It's a new radio. They call this their T-Rex. This thing powers up, even though it doesn't have 4 AAAs inside, because underneath this is a little door where you can stick your own. They don't provide it, but you stick your own 18650 battery. It's a rechargeable lithium. There are actually 3 ways to power this. If you do that, by the way, you can also take advantage of the USB charging plug. But if you want to use 4 AA's, you can. But there's a 2S balance plug here, so you could actually stick a 2S LiPo in here. One, as long as it fits, plugs into the balance plug. There'll be no low voltage cutoff protection on it, so be aware of that. But you'll get the superior battery life of a LiPo battery if you want. Just letting you know. It also is a multi-channel thing with a little steering thumb tab and a beautiful wheel. Feels nice to the hand. Left hand only, you can't reverse this. Fair enough. It claims 350 meters range out of the box. Quite a hefty claim, and I'd say to you, having done the speed run stuff, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, once you're more than about 150, 200 meters away, you don't really see the thing. So if you're trying to do high-speed passes out of the box, sure, this will work apparently, but I'd suggest if you're going to be modifying it like that, the people who worry about that will probably have their own radio. So the range should be sufficient. Now there are some extra channel buttons here. I don't think they're connected to anything. And underneath this little flap, you've got trim on a little X kind of thing, so up and down for the throttle and left and right for steering. You've got endpoints, they're dual rate, which means the endpoints for each will adjust the maximum throw for both on the same dial. And you also have a gyro button and a lamp button, which means you can turn gyro on and off, lamp on and off, and reverse your throttle. Now I did that to myself just before when I cracked it open. It slides out easily enough, and it keeps the rain off it if you find yourself in some light rain. Charging light indicator there, and that rounds out the radio. I like it. Other additions, just briefly. Spare battery straps. Now recently when I looked at this fella, when I set it up, and just as an aside, even though this is apparently licensed, the paint job on this is, like these stickers are pretty lazy. Rlaarlo has actually nailed the design. You can see the difference there, right? But one of the first things that happened to me on this was the battery straps snapped, and I was out on location. If that included spares like Rlaarlo does, I would have been fine. I had to stuff around for a while. So there's a 1/8, and by the way, look, here's a scale comparison. 1/8 to 1/10. If you want to hear more about this fella, there's a video for that here. Right, additions. Battery straps, fairly standard USB charger. That's fine. The nice thing is it uses the balance plug to charge it, so if you're looking to use your standard hobby radio, you can. The battery that's included is an XT60 and a 3S balance plug. standard battery. Beautiful. It's a 35C 2200 milliamp hour 3S. If you're new to lipos, I'll say that may not sound overly special, but I will tell you this, these are a solid performer. I have roughly 200 lithium batteries, and I've been using lipos since just before they introduced balanced plugs and chargers, which has gone back quite some years. These are a good battery in my opinion. I like them. No need to replace them with some better one. You're not going to find a better one that's going to give you any kind of noticeable difference with a car like this, with its stock system, even the nice system. Spare foam to help you make padding to fit different size batteries if you want. Additional little battery retention jiggers. I've actually installed another pair of them. I'll show you in a minute. That's a nice little inclusion. Screws to fit. Basic tools, just your Allen keys, gaskets for the diff, your wheel wrench, and a high-speed pinion. Claimed top speed on this fella is 50k an hour on the stock pinion on 3S, and 80k an hour with the speed pinion. I'm inclined to believe that, just going by Rlaarlo's history. In recent releases, they've been pretty careful, I think, to deliver on what they promise. Decent little manual. Tells you about the radio, tells you how to take the thing on and off, tells you about the light kit, which we shall get to in a minute. Oh, and there you go. So it gives you the 3 battery types. It's 4 to 9 volts input on the receiver, which is lovely. Decent little spec sheet with a few things that I found to be incorrect. We'll talk about them in a sec. And then exploded parts diagrams, which are always useful for disassembly and repair if you need to do it. Nice little catalogue of spare parts. So if you snap something, you can identify it from within here with the number, look up the number, find what it is, and then order that if you need. And Rlaarlo have been, in recent time, pretty good on their parts. The body for me is a standout. They've got plastics attached to the thing. The rear I don't think they quite knew what to do with, so I think that's the one weak point aesthetically for me for the whole thing. There's an exhaust there with an overrun light. It'll pop, pop, pop to imitate fuel burning off when you come off the throttle. 3 pops for off 70% to 0, and if you're above 70%, it'll flash a few more times, maybe 4 or 5. Full light kit in the rears and the fronts, and it is adjustable. You can turn those indicators off if you turn the wheel with a little adjustment here. Manual makes that very straightforward. 7071 alloy base, it's 2.5 mil, and the shock towers are 4 mil, I believe. 3 different retention points for this thing. There's a little latch there. There are some, well, you've got to do these first. There's little L-shaped jiggers that hold the side skirts in on the side impact. You pull the that out, just a little press catch, and then watch this part here, that's where the exhaust lives. It slides out, and that's that. This is a weak point. In the future Rlaarlo, I would like to see this plugged into the light module on the back, and I might cut these myself, but I'd like to see Rlaarlo do it. You've only got 3 cables, so it's pretty straightforward to have a magnetic connector there. So cut that and just have those 3-pin magnetic ones that just click in, and they can just hang around here, so you can just pop the body off without hurting it. That I would like to see. The body itself is very well completed, and you might notice a beautiful little standout thing that they've included. It didn't come installed, but I installed it, because why on earth wouldn't you? These wheel wells. Thank you, Rlaarlo. What an awesome little addition. I love these wheel wells. They're going to keep crud out of the car. They've got space for the shocks. They're not going to make this completely clean, but gee, they're going to go a long way to helping. There are wires throughout that run down both sides of the body from the light module at the back to a very full-featured light cluster at the front, as well as the ones in the back, and it's actually very nicely put together. Everything has Allen screws, and it looks brilliant. I love this body. It doesn't weigh a heck of a lot. It looks good. Yeah, I'm a fan. Nice job, Rlaarlo. Right from the licensing. This is my favorite rally car so far for handling and size. There's a latch that pops it out there, and the side little L jiggers that we just did on this car, on the S10. But the F10 did something differently to that little tab from the exhaust. This is on a hinge. That's a hinge system, and I quite like that. That means your wires are going to stay connected. And when you want to disconnect them, it also had that, which is still better than what we have here. This is a point of weakness. Be very careful with it. Breakages are going to happen if you are not careful. The actual system itself is a bit different. We've got an 80 amp ESC, and it's got a better fan on it. 4 mil thick 7071 aluminum alloy there. 2.5mm on the plate. You've got a decent little servo saver on the bell crank. Aside from the hinged body, there's another obvious difference if you haven't noticed yet. And your time is up. Aside from the toe-in, which is more significant on this guy than this, so the wheels, these are straighter on this. And the tyre size. The manual says these are 75mm tyres. I measured them at 70mm. So smaller diameter. I think it fits the new body better. What that means is if we have the same 3300 kV motor, which I can't remember if that did or not, I think it might have, same motor, same battery, same gearing, this guy will have punchier acceleration, this guy will have a higher top speed out of the box. So something like 60 to 85 km an hour, 50 to 80 km an hour. It'll be something like that. Bigger tyre diameters mean higher top speed basically, but at the cost of acceleration. You do have your 2 radio boxes. The layout's the same otherwise. And because these are both the carbon fibre editions, you get the carbon fibre rigidity brace that goes across. That's the XTS-F10, and I am a fan. I like it a lot. Also unlicensed. And in fact, we've seen some other things from Rlaarlo in the past that weren't licensed. The lightness of the Jeep, the laser knot. If I could change one thing with Rlaarlo, it would be to say, I don't mind paying a little bit more as a customer for licensing, or I'd prefer to see just make something different. Just don't use licensed stuff. I think that enough said on that. Right. It's so compact. Gosh, it's nice. Quick story aside, a quick aside. I put the XTS-F10, which we've looked at also, in the hands. I put the radio in the hands of a friend of mine at a crawling comp recently, and a few of the guys had a go. And the giggles and whoa, you heard from them just banging around with these cars. They're so good. That's a smaller car. This is a brilliant platform. It's so nice. We've got sway bars front and rear. We've got a car that actually for a rally car has an awful lot of clearance. The manual says 28mm. I found 25mm ground clearance. I've measured that. Oh, and also it says 2 kilograms mass. I measured 2.2 kilograms with battery. This sits very high. This is maximum extension and it's touching the ground, so that's good. But what you're going to find is if you're driving a car like this off-road, like in an off-road rally course, you're going to want to bring the body up a bit. The problem is as you come higher up off the ground, your center of gravity is raising, which introduces things like body roll, which your sway bars can help with, but also there's a lot of lateral movement. So as you accelerate, the nose will pick up. As you brake, the nose drops down. But if you're under acceleration and you come into a corner, as you do that, the weight shifts forward, and it can just impact everything from braking to traction to steering authority. Understeer, oversteer, all sorts of things happen depending on the dynamics of the car. Sway bars help because they link each side. They're like a little bar that goes across, and we've got that on both sides of this. They're not particularly stiff, but the impact is definitely there. Haven't looked at the steering range yet. Don't do this yourself. There's a decent little Ackerman on the end there. As it comes across, the inside really kicks in. There are some little screws, one on each of the lower A-arms, and they're called ride height limiting screws. On the other side of that, you know these little tabs here on the chassis? Those tabs aren't just for looks. On the other side of these tabs is the hole with the screw poking through. And so what happens is you stick your screw in there. So I'm going through the top arm, the top control arm onto the A-arm at the bottom. And if you screw that in, I'm going to keep count. 3, 4, 5. It starts to come through the plastic. 2.5 turns was enough to lower it considerably. You see that difference? So we brought the body from being high down to being low. That's what that did. So we'll give this side the turn as well. I'm going to run this on steel road in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I think my angle is going to mean that's probably about right. So now the rear is sitting lower than the front. So if we do the same on the front, it's going to end up looking like that. So why don't we do that now? Although you might think, Craig, you should test this thing as it came out of the box so we can see what it's like in its default config. Seeing how it is out of the box without changing it will show you what it's like where I'm driving. Doesn't mean it's going to show you what it's like where you're going to drive. A little bit of tuning just to make the car look as good as it can on that particular surface that you're on. I think that's actually fair enough. Let's say I was trying to give this thing a high-speed run, and just to see the car's top speed, it wouldn't be fair unless I swapped in the high-speed pinion to say, hey, that's what this car is capable of without buying anything else. I mean, that to me seems reasonable. We've pulled out some of the travel now. So previously, these things could drop lower. Now they can't. Picking this side up, I can feel I'm taking a lot of the weight of the car. This side, it's a lot lighter. And it's the same at the front. This is heavy, this is light. I'm just going by feel here, right? So we're going to add half a turn there and add half a turn on this fella as well. That's better. Now it feels heavy on both sides. That's better. So it shouldn't be that one side just picks up easily. This is very much going by feel. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we still have some travel. I'm inclined to leave the preload as it is. Preload just compresses the springs, pre-loads them. And typically that will adjust what's going on. It'll push the car up further. They're already quite firm and they're already pushing the car maximally up. You could loosen them and still probably have that same full ride height. You're basically changing the characteristics of the car as it's braking and accelerating and cornering. They're 48 dot pitch gears. The diffs, 3 of them, are, the manual says, it says the ring is helical cut and the pinion is spiral cut. Before today I thought that they would have to be the same cut. I'm pretty sure they do. In any case, they're a curvy cut, which gives you better connection, which gives you less likelihood of teeth slipping or chattering if the plastic housings bend. 3 diffs also means you've got power transfer that is dynamic. That means power transfer, you can get as much as 100% power transfer on any one corner of the wheel. It does generally lead to a more pliant vehicle, which means as you're accelerating, and let's say that as you accelerate, the back drops down, so there's more mass relatively on the rear wheels. I may not use the right terms here. The front gets lighter as you're accelerating, which means the fronts are more likely to slip. But that means your rear wheels are less likely to slip, which means you've got better traction and hopefully better speed. And as the vehicle evens out, the thing's going to be grabbing on all fours. But I like having middle diff. It generally makes the car more controllable. That in combination with the gyroscope, which means as the back kicks out, it's going to counter steer automatically to keep the thing straight. Beautiful. And you can turn that off with the gyro button, same with the lamp. There's a pair of battery sensing voltage thingies here that go into the balance plug of the 3S battery, which is right here. The sensor wires are there ready to plug into your balance cable, but this new radio does not have voltage sensing. So this is actually superfluous. It's a 3300 kV, 3652 motor, so 36 mil diameter, 52 length. That's that motor in there. It's a censored brushless motor, which means there are 4 cables coming out. There are only 3 for power, and 1 which is the censored one that goes into the ESC, which has your 3 brushless points where it shoots power out to the motor, like tung, 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 tung. So it's going around on the motor, bang, 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 and makes it spin. And there's a sensor, it's a Hall sensor on the little axle inside the motor, and it's reading the rotations. So it knows, this thing knows if the motor is spinning at the speed that it should be spinning based on what it's pushing out to the motor. And when you're driving, of course, that doesn't always happen. So that's how you can get a car that will drive even if, let's say I put my hand in front of it and tried to accelerate. If there was no sensor and I had low throttle, it would just go tung, 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 because these would be firing, tung, 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 tung. But that'd be it. With the sensor, it knows it's not spinning, so it knows to increase the power coming in until the wheels do actually move. That's what that is. This is a censored system, which means you get beautiful low speed control, no cogging here. It hurts me to do a hack job here, but I'm out in the field and I haven't got little curved scissors because I didn't bring my toolbox. But we had a clearance issue. That's better. I just need the tiniest little sliver off. I'd like to thank my channel members for making this video partly possible. Here they are on screen. Let's get a feel for this thing as it goes. Watch out for that overrun. It's so pretty. What you're not seeing is me madly going like this. It's challenging. Whoop. Oh dear, sorry car. The fans are reasonably noisy, but I also don't care. Gee, it's stable though. Gosh, it's pretty. You see the overrun there? Nice braking too. What's it like on gravel? Remembering I've got this body lowered. I brought tools, we can pick it up if we have to. This car will reward practice. Or maybe it's just me. She's quite peppy. Stable too. And so pretty. Even when you bin it. I saw that and I thought I must avoid the roots, and we kind of hit it. That's all right. Oh, it's super smooth though. I'm starting to like this. Oof. That was ridiculous. She's quite happy though. This is kind of not great for it. I'm great at doing some things one-handed, but clearly not driving. Ooh, that went everywhere. Everywhere. Oof. Oh, there's a tree root there. Ah, it's all over me. Oh, we binned it. My face is starting to hurt from smiling. We've really been through it, haven't we, little car? Oh yeah, look, the body retention's still in on that side, but it's come out on this one. Pop him back in. Roll him over. And here's the big rain. I was waiting for it. It's about to get very wet. Ah! Well, I was racing the weather, then I forgot all about it. Look, the lights are all still working. The gyro, I did all that without the gyro. Rats, I forgot that you could turn that on and off. I was thinking, gee, it's a pretty unintrusive gyro. There's a button for that. Oh, there we go. You hold it down and it beeps. That was all without gyro. But look, that'll tell you just how much a center diff can be helpful. I'm going to brave this weather just for you guys. We're just going to try it again with a gyro and let me show you the difference. Sorry about the raindrops that we'll get on the camera. Let's check it out. Oh dear, that was vicious, that was. Didn't break it though. Oh, she's locked in now. There you go. So that's the difference. Now, I start to feel like I know what I'm doing. Oh no! Oh, that was brutal. And we just hit low voltage. What a terrible shame. Look, that should really tell you what a fabulous car this is. Absolutely stunning. Well done, Rlaarlo. I really like this thing. It's an absolutely brilliant little car. I shall hope for the future that we get licensed cars or that we get Rlaarlo's own IP. I'd be very happy to see them design their own car. Absolutely. So it's up to you. I always say it's your personal stance on how you look at IP. I personally do not like this apparent infringement, but depending on your personal stance and comfort with it, if you can get past that, oh my goodness, this thing's stunning. It's just stunning. How you guys going in there? Well, throw me a like if you got something out of that. I got a lot out of it. I wish I had a second battery. I want to keep driving, especially now I've just discovered the gyro. Wow, that was really good. Thank you for Rlaarlo for entrusting me with your newest baby. This is a beauty. I loved the F10. I really like the S10 as well. You tell me what you think down below and I'll catch you next time on RC-TNT. P.S. The Shed membership is nearly here and it is so exciting. I'm a good couple of 100 hours into it just this month working on it. I have never worked this hard in my life. I can't wait to share it with you. Thanks guys, I'll catch you next time.